All right, welcome everyone to this session around industrial engagement. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Kari Poutanen and I am the head of the education industry practice at Fluido. And with me today, we have a very exciting guest, which I'll let my co-host Alan introduce. Alan, over to you.
Hi, my name is Alan Hughes and I head up the education in the UK and Ireland. Today, we've been joined by a very special guest, respected by academics for his considered process and business partners for translating their areas of interest into a working relationship with the university, a recognised expert in corporate academic partnering, and former NASA scientist who's raised millions both for research and equity investment in new companies. The creator of innovative approaches to strategic partnership across numerous institutions, I'd like to introduce Edinburgh Innovations, Dr. Brendan McGuckin.
Morning. Welcome, everybody.
Brendan, could you tell us a little bit about your experience developing opportunities between academia and industry?
Yeah, I've had a successful track record across the spectrum of different means of engagement, from consultancy to access to thought leadership, in new companies, raising equity investment for those companies. They all have in common the importance of understanding the customer requirements, whether that's the investor, whether that's the program funder, or the company you're engaging with, and of course, the academic aspiration and expectations. If you get that balance correct, then it often is very successful and relatively straightforward.
Great, that sounds very interesting. So one of the things that we really want to sort of delve into and pick your brain about is what is, in your opinion, the very foundation of a successful strategic partnership?
The foundation of a successful strategic partnership is fully understanding the aspirations and the expectations of all the parties involved. That is, of course, the academic, or he and her colleagues, the university, and critically the client company or organization. It's a balancing situation that if you get it right through discussion and through sharing of ideas and the common expectations, then it can be very successful, it can be long-standing, it can be a genuine relationship as opposed to a transaction. Oftentimes this is done through a framework agreement which covers all elements of finance, the means of the engagement, the timescales and intellectual property management. When all the ingredients are correct, it can be very successful, very productive, very efficient way of working, and it can be long-term. It's worth pursuing because industry is often telling the academic community that it's a relationship that they desire as opposed to multiple transactions. And in our case, it's an opportunity we refer to as a one university approach, is that the client can get professionally managed, streamlined access to thought leadership, research excellence, intellectual property, can de-risk future skills requirements by efficient engagement with the career service and recruit students. And it can get over a horizon perspective on what might be very near-term changes in the very topical area of artificial intelligence, for instance, where things are changing very quickly. And oftentimes academics or academic colleagues are fully attuned to the direction of travel, and that can de-risk a lot of investment for major corporations.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you and we're really excited is because you have experience sort of from applying Salesforce into this foundation. Now, from your point of view, what is it that Salesforce really brought into this foundation? What did it make possible or easier related to what it was before?
Salesforce is the gold standard of CRM systems. And what it brings to strategic partnering is the ability in one utility, Salesforce, the Salesforce platform, to manage a suite, a spectrum of information from across, in our case, a university. You can map all the touch points that the university host has with the external environment. Oftentimes with, if you took a prospective strategic partner, you can see the full spectrum of the engagement with that company, with the partner, and the partner can see the full spectrum of its engagement with the university. Oftentimes, this is a siloed perspective, but with a Salesforce CRM, you have in one place a dashboard where you can visualize 24/7 the state of play of the partnership and the engagement across the whole range of activities, as I mentioned earlier, from consultancy through contract research, to student recruitment, to philanthropy, etc. It affords that one university perspective and image of the state of play. It's indispensable.
So how does a large university go about developing a system that supports the day-to-day users putting data in and the requirements of the university's leaders?
That's a very good question. In pursuing this, we have found in successive instances, we have to understand the people involved. So that can be the university executive, it can be individual academics, it can be university management. We have to understand their requirements, and the system is configured and designed, is built upon their intended use. It has to make their life easier, to make their demonstration of their contribution, the management of their information effective and efficient. The next stage is, having secured their buy-in, is the processes. Now, that's a very dry word, but it's how our colleagues' information is exchanged and managed and used and reported on. The big impact from a CRM system is streamlining reporting, which can be made semi-automatic, to relieve one of that Friday afternoon burden or end of month burden of, oh, what have I been doing and how do I compile a report? All of that can be anticipated if you understand the individual requirements and where that information is shared and exchanged and managed. Then the technology, that's the platform. It's, in our case, Salesforce as the gold standard is the platform of choice. And that affords the technology can be configured so that the individual and the school, the college, the university needs for information and the sharing and management and reporting of that information can be delivered by the platform. That's the order of events that we have gone through on successive occasions. People, process, technology. A CRM system isn't an IT project. It's a business management project, and it affords colleagues the opportunity to efficiently demonstrate their contributions and the uniqueness of their contributions, but also that relative in an aggregated way at a school, at an institute, at a centre level.
Yeah, no, that's great. I really love that people process technology, and I think you're 100% right that it's you're building business capability. You're not sort of building IT capability, right? So I really like that. Now, something you said there and earlier, you talked about silos and you talked about data. And this is something that's very interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, because we know that data without sort of insight into the data or getting meaning out of the data is pointless, and you need to sort of have data sorted out in, let's say, your relationships regarding industrial engagement in order to get a full picture of what is going on with the different engagements that the university has going on. How do you see that Salesforce affected this process of creating meaning and creating sort of something that you could execute from the data? And was there anything specific that you could suddenly see from the university point of view that wasn't obvious before, when the data was still sort of more siloed?
How we address the fact that a lot of information is recorded and is inefficiently shared, and indeed much of it's recorded and not used, was to work back from the reporting requirements at the appropriate level. Universities have to report to national bodies on their performance. Contract research, the sponsor of contract research, has a reporting requirement ultimately to the shareholders if it's an industry. These are all set out at the start of a business year, or the start of a contract, or the start of a multi-year initiative. The understanding the key performance indicators and the reporting requirements. So is using that as these reports as the objective, and mapping back onto the university, the college, the school level, the individual group or centre, right down to the individual, is mapping that back means that you understand the reporting requirements, and therefore recording the correct information. Not all information is relevant. You record the correct information, and then that enables you to compile reports and dashboards to the outside world or for internal reporting, which are routinely based. They can be run in the background 24/7, and it relieves everyone of the onerous requirement at the end of a reporting period to compile the report. We've all been there. But if you get it right, this can become semi-automatic, push button. The Salesforce platform has the full range of capability to enable that to be done. The platform can be designed to suit the reporting requirements at whatever level, hence its selection as our CRM of choice.
That's great.
People, process and technology, from what you're saying there, seems to be at the heart of everything you've done here. How can you tell us how that approach affected the adoption with different user groups?
Okay, there was a spectrum of adoption. We strived to make sure that the Salesforce instance suited the individual groups. So it was tailored to meet their precise expectations. Colleagues then saw it as a useful and valuable tool. Major accomplishment. It's not an administrative burden. It's something that you want to put your information in for the ease of reporting and the demonstration of contribution, etc., etc. We have had colleagues who, oh, this is something new, oh my goodness, this is something else I have to learn, who have become enthusiastic adopters and who use the Salesforce reporting and the wide range of functionality as a daily tool. It's something that's used semi-automatically and enthusiastically adopted by those who, in many instances, were reluctant. Resistance too strong, a wee bit reluctant is to use these new systems, because it's a discipline that's not always used in the university sector. More common in business, obviously. And so working from demonstrating the value of the use of CRM at an individual level you often find group and institute adoption being enthusiastically embraced because of the attributes mentioned earlier: ease of reporting, efficient use, demonstration of performance, etc., etc.
Yeah, no, that's really, really good, good insights, I think. One of the things I'm keen on hearing as well is sort of if we think about the way that strategic partnerships are, the strategy for strategic partnerships is developed at the university level. How do you see that the partnership CRM influenced the way that strategy was being developed? And then if you could sort of like follow up on that, that how do you see that in the future, what will sort of differentiate those that, you know, are sort of doing very well within the industrial engagement and those that are not?
The aspiration for strategic engagement with partners is, as I mentioned, is to enable them, is to improve the service, improve the relationship between global companies of scale and one of the world's leading universities. The CRM system enables an institutional perspective of the full range of that engagement and streamlines the communication with the partners so that their experience, and it's a two-way relationship here, that the benefits, the mutual benefits, are long-term, productive and effective and efficient relationships that complement, they don't displace the traditional transactional type working, but they complement that in their longevity, the efficiency of the engagement, the mutual awareness one of another, the spectrum of graduate recruitment through to contract research, the mutual awareness of changes within industry so that the relevance of coursework can be refined to meet industry requirements, so that the contract research can reduce the investment in product development, accelerating the return on investment. When there are mutual wins from the relationship, that's the ultimate test of its productivity and efficiency. The mutual understanding one of another, the sharing of ideas, the accelerated return on investment, the improved curriculum development relative to industry, relative to rapidly changing industries, are all essential ingredients and our key performance indicators.
No, that's been really, really insightful, Brendan. Thank you very much for spending the time with us today. I look forward to taking forward some of these discussions in the future, perhaps later in the year, when we get together and we can expand out in some of these areas. Maybe get some other universities involved too, and just and share some of those approaches.
That's very welcome. Happy to share it. We've benefited in the past from Fluido's experience, the Salesforce platform, and the university and individuals. We're always happy to share experience with colleagues in other universities and other institutions, because we have common experience, common requirements, despite at times being competitive. It's a shared experience.
Yeah, of course. Thank you from me as well, Brendan. It's been a pleasure having you here today. Thank you to our audience as well. Thank you for listening. Hope you took something valuable away from this. It's been really, really valuable for me at least. So thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.